Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. In just a few minutes, I got a gentleman coming up to buy a couple goats from me. So I'm trying to sell off my goats. This story is about why I'm doing it and how the pricing is going this year. So I've had goats for 20 years now, and I've bought and sold a lot of goats. I'm trying to get rid of goats. I had nearly 20 on this small acreage farm earlier in the year, but I am looking to get rid of, not completely get rid of my goats, but really lessen my herds. I want to keep my buck, which is a great buck, and I have a few does that don't have his bloodline in them, and I want to keep them for breeding. But over the years, my property and my neighbor's property went from mostly blackberries and broadleaf weeds to it's mostly grass now, because the goats have done an excellent job knocking everything down. So now that it's mostly grass out here, we are going to try to transition from exclusively goats to having a little bit of goats, and I'm going to start a small herd of sheep, or a flock, I guess you should call it. I've never run sheep on my property before, so we're going to try to run them together. Some people say you can, some people say not to, but I don't. From my research, it doesn't seem like it should be that big of a problem. And so sheep graze grass better than goats, and I have more grass. And the other thing is, we have eaten both lamb and goat, and my family prefers lamb more than goat. So we're going to try to get probably some Dorpers. So we're getting a hair sheep. We're not after the wool, and we're going for the meat. The Dorpers have pretty good size, and so watch my future videos to see how introducing Dorper sheep into the field with my goats turns out. In a minute here, we're going to get to have video go down getting the goats when they arrive, but I've already agreed to a price which I feel is incredibly low. I've been disappointed. I've sold goats in the past, and I haven't had problems getting $200 for does, young does, that aren't even registered. And I'm selling a purebred Nigerian dwarf today, doe, for $75, and I'm selling a mixed one for $75 as well. So I'm going to get $150 for the two goats. I should get that much for one. In years past, when I sold in the spring, I listed in the spring, they've moved really easily. Everything's growing up around here now, and people are wanting goats. I thought for sure that these would move faster, but I've had them on Craigslist, and they kind of just sat there for a while with not much interest. So I agreed to a lower price, because sometimes they're addition by subtraction. I want to move on to the next thing. So even if I have to sell them for a little bit less than the going rate, I can move on, and so I can go on to the next phase of my farming journey. But so what was I saying? Normally I can get a lot better price. Everything's growing, but I haven't had a lot of interest. And then this last week, all of a sudden, in the last couple days, actually, I've been getting tons of phone calls and tons of texts off of an old Craigslist ad, a fairly old Craigslist ad that loses interest. And I think what happened is it's been an incredibly wet spring. It's June 15th now, and just last week we had, for the second time all year, 3 days without rain. Other than that, it's never gone 3 days without rain. And even today, I would consider today a nice day, but it rained today, and yesterday was a nice day, but it rained some yesterday. But at least it hasn't been relentless. And so the ground's starting to dry out, and I think what's happening is people are starting to get time to get outside, and they can run their tractor, and they can build their fence, or they can move around their property and not be slopping around in mud. So I think some people that wanted to add goats are starting to get their fencing up and get things done. Usually, like I said, the market would have been hot a couple months ago because all the brush is growing, but right now, I mean, everything's just been so sopping wet that people are getting out, and I think that's why no action on my ads. And then just last week, when it hasn't been raining relentlessly, it's only rained a couple inches this week, people are getting out and getting ready to buy some goats and clear their property. Hey guys. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Easy now. Easy now. That's a good girl. Daisy. There you go. Oh, Ginger, push your way right out. I think you're next. Ginger, don't be opening that door. Oh, no. Got my foot caught in the door. Oops, get in. Oh, sorry.
We don't lose the goat.
Alright. Strapped and shut. Alright.
At the top side.
You can ride on back if you like.
No, I can make it up there.
Okay.
I can go okay with my cane. I just can't do it without it.
Okay. I'll be right up.
All right.
Why don't you pull your vehicle forward just a little bit farther,
Sure.
and then I could get right up behind you. And
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, the one I'm getting is still on the bottle. It's been bottle fed.
oh yeah.
And the one I've got right now is probably, it hasn't been weaned very long, so
Yeah.
but I figured we never know what's going to happen here with the economy. They're saying we're going to have a food shortage and stuff, and I just got a whole bunch of flowers I need eaten down.
Yeah. That's this whole hillside was all blackberries, and then after you get a small herd of goats. So I'm actually going to be transferring. I'm going to keep some goats because we've got more of the broadleaf that wants to be cleared. But now that grass is taken over, I'm going to add some sheep in here, so I'm going to get some goats out of there.
Yeah, goats don't like grass very well.
Yeah, they don't mow it down like the sheep will.
But
so-
they still live on it, though.
Oh yeah, they'll live on it. They'll do fine. But they love. I mean, if I put them out in a grass pasture and blackberries on the edge,
I know. I've had them 2 different times. I got a doe and a buck, or I got a couple does and a buck. And then when they had babies, the second time they had babies, then I sold all of them. And then I let everything grow back, and 3 or 4 years later I bought same thing, and now I'm doing the same thing again, except I'm starting out with 3 does and a buck. So,
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
no, I just want to make sure everything was old enough to breed, and I figured it had to be because the one I'm getting is still on the bottom of the buck is. So.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
And I wanted to get something that wasn't in the same bloodline, and I did. I'm 100 miles apart, so
Yeah. That's they separate. They're separate bloodlines.
yeah.
So excited. Next time I do this, I might have to. Are your babies still in there, Ginger? Yeah. You get phone call after phone call today. So we got.
150 is what
Yep.
I'll need to get a receipt when you're done there, so I can remember what kind of goats they are and how old they are. So.
Okay, I can print that up for you. All right, girl. Let's go. All right, you stay there.
I guard this guy.
Come on. Come on. There it should be.
I appreciate it.
Get the quad out of the way, and then you just want a handwritten receipt, their ages.
I just want to put it in my file so I can remember what they are.
Okay.
And how old they are, so that eventually I'm going to sell them. I only got enough stuff for them there to eat what they want
Right.
for the next year and a half, 2 years, and then they'll probably be going away. And I just want to show people what they are.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'll write that up.
Thanks.
All right, so the larger goat is 1/2 Nigerian dwarf,
Right.
purebred, and then the other half is mostly boar, but she wasn't even a purebred, but it's mostly boar, 16 months old, and then the smaller one is full-blood Nigerian
You
dwarf.
didn't have no papers on her by any chance, did you?
No, I have papers on her dad, but I don't have
Okay.
papers on his mom, so I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't register.
That's all right. It's going to be a mixed. The rest, what comes from her is going to be a mixed breed anyhow. So
Yeah.
it ain't going to matter. All right. I appreciate it.
All right. Nice to meet you.
All right, same here.
Have a good day. All right, that was a smooth sale. They're happy with their goats. They're off and gone. I have $150 for 2, which is not that's under value, but I'm moving forward on my plan. It's time to take my quad back down, park it away. As I mentioned in the start of this video, I was surprised at how slow the interest was at in my goats earlier on, but now that it's picked up. And so right now I've got 2 or 3 people I'm supposed to contact that after I agreed to sell these goats to this gentleman that came today, I've got 3 more people that said, okay, when you're done, maybe it's 2. Anyway, I got to check my list. When you're done selling those goats, call us with what you have left, and so we know what to come and pick up or what we want. So I think I have buyers ready to go on the other goats that I want to get rid of. So thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching and cleaning horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects like raising goats and farming my land are my passion. Hope to see you again soon, people. Be blessed.